Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. At this time, I'd like to welcome Dr. Sharnette Hockaday to the podium to start our program. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the Dean of Students Office, I would like to welcome our students, faculty, staff, and administrators to today's 9/11 Memorial event. Thank you for taking the time to be here with us this morning as we honor and remember the lives lost and forever changed on September 11, 2001. This year marks 24 years since that tragic day, a day that reshaped our nation and continues to remind us of the importance of unity, resilience, and of compassion. For some in our community, the memories of that day are vivid and are personal. For others, including many of our students, 9/11 is part of a history that they did not live through. That is why it is especially important that we continue programs such as this and that we continue to gather each year to ensure that the lessons, the sacrifices, and the stories of courage and service are never forgotten. As an institution of higher learning, we are committed not only to education, but to remembrance. Today's memorial is a way for us to pause, to reflect, and to stand together as a community in honor of those who were lost and those who continue to serve in the spirit of healing and of hope. So thank you again to all of you for joining us this morning and for continuing to be part of this important tradition. Thank you.
Thank you, Dean Hockaday. It is my privilege to introduce our guest speaker for today. He will be speaking on his experiences from the 9/11 attack and what's happened since. So I'd like to introduce from our Criminal Justice Department, Professor Quentin DeMarco.
Good morning. First, I'd like to thank you for inviting me to speak with you today. My name is Quentin DeMarco, and as introduced, I'm an adjunct professor here at Union College. I know that for many students here, 9/11 is something you've read about in textbooks, seen in documentaries, or heard your parents talk about. You're probably too young or not even born yet when it happened. But for me and many others, 9/11 is not history. It's a day that we relive every year, a day that changed the course of our lives and the world in a single morning. I was there at the Trade Center that morning on September 11th. I was a police sergeant with the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey Police Department. The World Trade Center was built by and is owned and operated by the Port Authority. When the towers were hit, we responded, and what I saw, what I experienced, what we lost, it's something I carry with me every day. September 11th, 2001 was my generation's Pearl Harbor. It was the first battle in the war on terror that our brave military has fought and paid a heavy price for over the last 24 years. September 11th started like any other day. I still remember how exceptionally blue the sky was that morning, a lot like we see here today. I reported for duty in Port Newark and still remember sitting in my radio car, having a cup of coffee, watching the huge container ships transverse Newark Bay, not knowing that within hours, the very heart of New York City would become a war zone. When the first plane hit the North Tower, we knew something was wrong, but through the confusion, no one fully understood what we were facing. When the second plane hit, we all knew this was an attack on America. Port Authority Police instituted its job-wide mobilization plan, and I was among the officers who responded immediately. We directed evacuations, helped people escape the towers, and tried to maintain order in what was unbelievable chaos. The smoke, the sights and sounds of victims jumping from the towers to escape indescribable heat, the fear, the bravery. These are the things that will stay with me as an eyewitness to the worst terror attack in American history. It is impossible to describe to you what it's like to watch the towers fall, knowing that your friends, your colleagues were still inside. 2,977 people died that day. 343 were FDNY firefighters. 23 were New York City police officers. We at the Port Authority lost 84 members. 37 of them were Port Authority police officers. That represents the largest loss of police officers in a single day in the history of the United States. They were my friends, my coworkers, and they were heroes. But our work didn't end when the dust settled. We stayed, we searched for weeks and months at what many now call Ground Zero, digging through rubble, hoping to find someone alive or at least bring someone's remains home to their family. It was physically and emotionally taxing. Many have gotten sick and died from the toxic dust. Some still are fighting debilitating and fatal disease. And yet through all of it, we stood together, first responders, volunteers, construction workers, ordinary people who came together to do extraordinary things. Americans. So, what does 9/11 mean today for you? The students who were not alive when it happened. It's more than a moment of silence. It's more than a history lesson. It's a reminder. A reminder of the cost of hatred. A reminder of the courage that lives in ordinary people. A reminder that when everything fails or falls apart, we have the power to rise together. In the days after 9/11, we saw something so rare, so strange, yet beautiful. Unity. For a brief moment, we were not Democrats or Republicans, no race or religion dividing us. We were just people, Americans helping each other. That unity didn't last, but the potential it showed us is something that we can choose to keep alive. You are the next generation of leaders, thinkers, and protectors. You weren't there on 9/11, but you carry the responsibility of its legacy. Learn from it. Don't wait for a crisis to care for one another. And always remember that the freedom and peace you enjoy today came at a cost. I speak to you not just as a first responder, but as a witness to both the worst and the best of humanity. Never forget those we lost. Never forget those who gave everything. And never forget the strength of this nation when we come together. Thank you.
Now I'd like to introduce our student speaker, reading the names From our men's basketball team, Mr. Craig West.
Good morning. Like Kev said, I'll be reading The Names by Billy Collins. Yesterday, I lay awake in the palm of the night. A soft rain stole in, unhelped by any breeze. And when I saw the silver gaze on the windows, I started with A, with Ackerman as it happened, then Baxter and Calibro, Davis and Eberling, names falling into place as droplets fell through the dark. Names printed on the ceiling of the night, names slipping around a watery bend. 26 willows on the banks of a stream. In the morning, I walked out barefoot among thousands of flowers, heavy with dew like the eyes of tears, and each had a name. Fiore inscribed on a yellow petal, then Gonzalez and Hahn, Ishikawa and Jenkins. Names written in the air and stitched into the cloth of the day. A name under a photograph taped to a mailbox, monogram on a torn shirt. I see you spelt out on storefront windows and on the bright, unfurled awnings of the city. I say the syllables as I turn a corner. Kelly and Lee, Medina, Nardella, and O'Connor. When I peer into the woods, I see a thick tangle where letters are hidden. As in a puzzle concocted for children, Parker and Quigley in the twigs of an ash, Rizzo, Schubert, Torres, and Upton. Secrets in the boughs of an ancient maple, names written in the pale sky, names rising in the updraft amid buildings, names silent in stone or cried out behind a door. Names blown over the earth and out to sea in the evening, weakening light, the last swallows. A boy on a lake lifts his oars, a woman by a window puts a match to a candle, and the names are outlined on the rose clouds, Vanacore and Wallace. Let X stand, if it can, for the ones unfound, then Young and Zeminski. The final jolt of Z, names etched on the head of a pin. One name spanning a bridge, another undergoing a tunnel. A blue name needled into the skin. Names of citizens, workers, mothers, and fathers. The bright-eyed daughter, the quick son. Alphabet of names in a green field. Names in the small tracks of birds. Names lifted from a hat or balanced on the tip of a tongue. Names wheeled into the dim warehouse of memory. So many names, there is barely room on the walls of the heart. Thank you.
Next, we'll be inviting members of the UCNJ student body to bring flowers up to the flagpole in memory of those we lost on 9/11. Thank you to our students. I would now like to introduce, for our closing remarks, our Director of College Life, Mrs. Samantha Thompson.
Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Professor DeMarco, for those wonderful remarks, and to Mr. Craig for sharing the poem. As our ceremony draws to a close today, I would like to express my gratitude to each of you for being here to participate in this important remembrance. Your presence and your reflections have made this gathering a powerful tribute to the events and the people we honor on this day. In hearing today's speakers and upholding the traditions of remembrance, we are reminded of the resilience and the unity that emerged from the tragedy of September 11th, 2001. It also serves as a reminder to each of us that we each have our own story to share about that day and the unique ways that those stories have impacted our lives. I too have family members that served as first responders, and I'm certain that I'm not alone in this group. Though our experiences may be different, we are unified and connected in the power of our remembrance and how it brings us together. Whew. As we conclude, I encourage you to carry the essence of today with you. The lessons of 9/11 are not confined to this date. They are about remembering the sacrifices made and striving to build a world where such tragedies are met with understanding, compassion, and strength. They're about how we live our lives, how we treat one another, and how we contribute to our communities. Community colleges like ours play a crucial role in shaping the future. As students and members of this college community, you are the torch bearers of the values that we've celebrated today. Carry forward the spirit of resilience, courage, and compassion into your studies, your interactions, your passions, and your future endeavors. As we leave here today, let us remain united in our commitment to creating a more compassionate world. Let us honor the memory of those that we've lost by living lives that reflect the strength and hope that they inspired in us. Thank you to everyone who spoke. Thank you to the College Life team for coordinating this event. All of your participation has made this ceremony a meaningful tribute and a reminder to the enduring impact of September 11th. Thank you all, and have a great day.
Patrick.